Some Minecraft datapack things are easy. For example, if you want to give a player an item, just type /give, the player, and then the item. It's that simple. But some are a little more complicated and even harder to come up with. So here are 5 Minecraft command tricks you probably didn't know. Somebody suggested to me on Discord that I should show what I used in my proof of concept command blocks for the last video. So this is the first one. So to change your health, first you need to use /attribute. So if you type in /attribute @s generic.maxhealth base set and then whatever. So let's say 2.5 hearts, which is 5 health. So here you see, it looks like we have 3 hearts, but it's just a bit glitched. So what we can't do next is just set our max health back to 20, because it will actually remember how much health we had before. It remembered that we had 5 hearts before we changed max health. What we have to do instead is update our health. So if we set it back to 5, then what I did here was I gave myself Wither to do a tiny amount of damage and update the health, which is what we need. And the reason I used Wither 1 instead of 0 is because 0 didn't do damage quickly enough, and so it didn't work. So there we go. The next thing to do is set the max health back to 20, and now that we changed the health, it will stay on 2.5. So there you go. Make sure you do this 1 tick later so that the Wither has time to do its thing. The last thing you want to do is clear the Wither effect so it doesn't do any extra damage. Obviously it ran out for us already, but in a data pack it's good that you clear the effect. So for /health add, I did the same thing but with regeneration instead of Wither. I did regen 255, which is the max, because I wanted the health to go up as soon as possible. I also cleared the effect after 3 ticks because otherwise it wasn't giving me enough health. And for /health set, I did regen and Wither. What I did for variables was first I set up a scoreboard. Let me just show it now. Then I summoned an item at the nearest player and gave it a tag of new. Then, in the next command block, I used execute store to store onto the item's count, and I stored the scoreboard value. So when I run it, it will give me 6 stone, and if I set my score to 22, then it will give me 22 stone. One last thing to note is that in a data pack, you should add one more command that removes the tag. So tag @e remove new, just so that we don't have any items that didn't get picked up getting modified in the future. For the /trigger custom commands, first you have to set up a scoreboard, so let's do that. Let's call it get diamond, and what you need to do is here for the criteria, type trigger, and that will allow us to use /trigger, and we'll just set it on the sidebar. So, to be able to use /trigger, we need to run /scoreboard players enable @s get diamond. Then, in the command block, we will execute as all players who have the score of get diamond, which is 1 or more, and we'll give them a diamond. Then, obviously we need to set the score of everyone to be 0, so we don't spam give them diamonds. And the last step is to enable them so they can trigger get diamond again. And then, every time we type /trigger get diamond, it will give us a diamond. The next trick is to make an entity constantly looking at us. So, let's summon a pig, and we'll make it have no AI, so it won't be moving around everywhere. We'll also give it a tag of facing, which will tell our commands to make it constantly facing us. So, if we get a repeating command block, we'll type in it execute as @e type equals facing @s, so that will run the command as and at all entities with the tag of facing. Then we'll do facing entity @p, so facing towards the nearest player, and then feet. I found feet worked better because, as you can see, the pig is looking at my feet. You can try eyes, but it's a bit weird with tall entities. So next we're going to run tp @s ~. So that will teleport them to the same position, and the last two tildes specify the rotation, and we also need to set it to always active. So there you go, he's always looking at us. Now, that's all well and good, but let me show you what happens if we use an armor stand. So we'll summon an armor stand with the tag, and let's just put a skeleton head on it to make it easier to see. So you see, it works until we fly up. It doesn't look up at us. As you can see, if we use data get, it still has the rotation data, it's just we can't see it. So we need to add another command block. Let's kill this armor stand because we need to summon a new, slightly different one. The difference this time is that we'll add pose, head, and then inside that we will do 0.0f, 0.1f, 0.0f. The reason we do that is because if it's all 0, then it will delete it and we won't be able to modify it. You can't notice the difference, but our commands will. So in the next command block, we will execute as all entities with a tag of facing and are a type of armor stand because it worked fine with the others. And we will store the result onto an entity at S, and then the 0th item in the head pose. And it's a float, and let's store it at a 1:1 ratio. And we'll run data get entity at S rotation 1, so that will get the rotation of the arm stand and put it onto the head pose. And there you go, it works now. The next trick is item abilities. Now this isn't for every item, but you can use it for any tool. For example, let's say we want to make diamond pickaxes mine in a 3x3 cube. First we need to add a scoreboard to check when we use the pickaxe. So scoreboard objectives add used diamond pick and then used diamond pickaxe. And then we'll display it on the sidebar. So now in survival mode, every time we mine something with a diamond pick, it will update the score. So let's place down a command block and we will execute as all players with a score of 1 or more on the used diamond pick scoreboard, and then at that player, then as all entities with a type of item and without the tag checked, which we'll add in a minute, and only the nearest one. Then we'll do at that item, and we will fill from 1 backwards in each direction to 1 forwards in each direction with air, and then destroy, which will make it drop the blocks. We won't set it to always active yet because we need to add other commands first. So in the next command block, we will tag all entities with a type of item and not a tag of checked as checked. So in the previous one, it will only execute as new items created that tick. Then, in the last command block, we will set all players' scores to 0, so they can trigger the ability again. Now here we can set it to always active, and then, why isn't it working? Okay, it turned out that I just typed the scoreboard wrong. It was used diamond pick, not used. So now it works. So you can use this with any tool pretty much, and it doesn't have to be a 3x3 box. What you also might want to do is check if the player is holding an item with a certain tag, so it's not all diamond pickaxes but only certain custom ones. One more thing you might want to add is, if I go down to bedrock, then you can see it will break bedrock as well. So you probably want to fine tune it a bit, but you have the rough idea. Anyway, if you have difficulty with any of these, you can join my Discord server, link in the description. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. And if you want to learn more about specific commands, click the video on screen now.